Well, good morning, my ladies and my gents. Here we are, another Wednesday, and I'm gonna go ahead and keep up with the "What Did You Buy Wednesday" because they're kind of fun. So it's hosted by Joe over at Big Sky Model Workshop, and in addition to what I got, the new microphone, which I discovered. See if it'll do it. It has reverb. And no, I'm not going to use that very much. It's a fun little feature, but it's not going to be something that'll be on here. That's no. Anyway, I got an interesting book for birthday, as well as the microphone. And I got three orders in this last week, and I still have a Hobby Link order out, and I'll put that up next week. So, uh, yeah, I said I got that unexpected settlement, and I set aside $500 for this. And I thought, I'll go ahead and get stuff now while I can and get it all taken care of and stock up on some stuff. And so here we are, and I've spent just about $500. So anyway, let me get the camera turned around and we'll show you what we got because some of it's kind of cool stuff. Okay, well, let's take a look at this. First of all, this is the other part, one of the presents that I got. Well, clumsy. This is the other present that I got from my family for birthday that I had a couple months ago that I went over Sunday and celebrated. This came from my little brother and his family. And basically a history and a description of the various muscle car kits that have come out. And he basically defines them as having uh, some sort of performance, usually dual carbs, dual exhaust, mid 15-second or better quarter mile in pure stock showroom trim. So that's kind of what he is basing this on. And he also talks about some of the Mobius uh, uh, Hudsons in here as well. At one point I saw, but it's basically it's 2018, so it's a little dated for what we have today. And but it talks about all of the various things and what is a muscle car, what he terms, how it's organized, um, some of the history. This was actually the history part of how we have wound up today with what we got. And it's really pretty interesting. May have to talk about it sometime. And then he goes into the various chapters on, like this one is laying the groundwork, and is talking about the tri-fives and things like that. And I just starting to read at this, and he's talking about them. So, but it's really, I don't normally read books like this. It normally doesn't interest me, but this one's interesting. I've read a couple of chapters on it, and um, guys, thank you, Zach, Ian, Dave, Elizabeth. Thank you so much. This really is interesting, and I need to sit down and actually spend a day and just read on it. So, but yeah, it's really cool. So thank you guys. It's heavy too. So let me set it aside, get it out of the way, and we're going to go into this. This is from MCV Products, and they have, you zoom in a little bit here, they have radiator caps. You get some of those kits, and it's got a radiator, and it's got a suggestion of where the radiator cap should be. Just paint one of those up, stick it on. Hey, you got a radiator cap. And I also got some uh, actual terminals, battery terminals, to go on. So, like you're putting on a battery, and you want to do some wiring, and you fiddle farting around with the photo etch, and it never really quite works out. This is something a little different. I'm going to have to play with them and see just how well they work. But I thought I'd get a set, and then they threw in 4 carburetors. for free. Um, I think they're Holly Dominators, just by looking at them. I may be wrong. I probably am wrong. Y'all might let me know. But anyway, I picked up a set of 15-inch Krager mags. I used 14-inch on that Dodge Dart, and they came out oh so beautiful. But you'll notice there's two different sizes of them. I think they're like 6 and 10-inch. I think they are. I'm not exactly sure. I'd have to go back and look at the website. But they turned out so nice and so pretty on that other. I thought these are the staggered ones. I thought I would get a set to put on just because on another hot rod, just because, and that might be fun. Um, got a couple of sets of torsion bars, ladder bars. They could also be used for wheelie bars if you want to go that route. And I got a couple of sets of these. They're the tube and with the fittings and all. And I got a couple of sets of these. I'll just get one out. The ladder bars. And I am looking at doing a uh, uh, Trans Am 77 Trans Am as kind of a mud bogger police car. Uh, Thinking sheriff department, put the lights on it and the big mud bogger and the big blower on it and high rise and all of that. And I'm thinking maybe these might be fun to use as a starting point to get it built, get the suspension built up. So I'm going to try that. And if not, there's a lot of other uses for them. So I got two sets of those. If I'm going to do that, I'm going to have one for the front, one for the back. And then I got these for the fun of it. Duals, front and rears. And of course, it's got the hubs and the wheels. And I don't know. I'm thinking, I saw a picture. I think I talked about it when I was talking about starting the Jimmy, of a Jimmy or a Bronco, something of that style that had dual, rear duals and big front and lifted and all of this, and it had the stacks coming out in front of the fenders for the duals. And I thought that looked kind of fun. And of course, the caption read "Beer was involved," but that just looked like fun. It looked cool, and I just may do that. I've got what is it, the Wild Hoss, Big Hoss Bronco kit from AMT. And I thought that might be a lot of fun just to see if I could come up with that, put the dually fenders on it and that type of thing. So we'll see how that works out. But that may be what I do with some of that, with those. And set that aside. I picked up some stuff from Iceman. Uh, they've got their good points. For me personally, I am not that fond of Iceman. I've had problems with their shipping, and their products just aren't as detailed, especially their engines, as Josh's. But they do have a much wider variety of stuff. So, first thing you'll notice, I got milk crates. This is where I get my milk crates from, is Iceman. Um, Not gonna find them. I haven't found them anywhere else, and they're just fun to stick in like the back of a pickup, or maybe the back seat of a work car or something like that. And put some tools in it, or just some junk in it, or something. Um, you'll notice the pulleys. I love Josh's stuff. I mean, you can't get any finer. But I've never been fond of the molded in fan belts on a lot of things. And so I thought I would give some of these a try to see if it comes out. Um, I think MCV had a Chevy front cover with pulleys on it that you then put some kind of fan belt material on it. And but it looked like a good idea, but it didn't quite work out. Um, but it looked decent enough when I got it done, but it wasn't what I wanted. But I'm going to give these a try. It comes with some fan belt material, and I also get these armrests from him. These are the ones that I use in a lot of them, where you have just a mere suggestion of an armrest on the in a car. You want to put some in. I got 3 sets of them, and I also got a couple of sets of the door handles. They're the Ford style, and with a little push button underneath it. So got that. Uh, I've had problems with their shipping. I've had pieces broken. I've had mispackaged pieces. I've had stuff that just didn't work out. But there, I said, this is my history. Not everybody has it. A lot of people have really good luck with them. Uh, I go to them as last resort, but that's me personally. I'm not trying to diss them or anything. I just haven't had good luck. But BCG, I have great luck. That's why I keep buying from him. I got the Nova kit. Um, I think Joe over there at Big Sky Model Workshop, I think he did a better unpacking of one of this, because he's a racer. I'm not. I'm an old truck driver that likes hot rods. So he'll have a much better description of it, but just to kind of show engine mount with the various pieces that goes in it. Uh, you got the front rotors and the calipers and 2 different styles of uh, master cylinder that you can put in it. And of course, you got the clip, and which is really, really nice. I like that. So I've got the adjustable here. I haven't dug into the parts. I haven't pulled them all out, but it's got the spindles, the focus. You got some of the spindles there, and for you to put on, or adjustable to where you want them. And it's got some other stuff here to height and things. Like I said, I need to look and see just exactly what all it is, and Joe can give you a better description of it. So, but I told you all about that Hobby Lobby haul that I did not too long ago, where I wound up picking up that '67 Corvette for $5. I mean, you can't beat a deal like that. And I was thinking, you're going to have to do an awful lot of carving to get this in there. And I thought using that cost me $5. I've never been that fond of the 67s in that era. Starting in '68 with the Coke bottles, that was always my favorite. So, but I may do that, and if I wind up tearing it all up, it's not a big deal. So, uh, I, and if it does work, it's gonna be cool. So, uh, the other stuff that I got, remember on the Big Pete build that I did, I put on some bullhorns on the front, and they really did come out. Well, I thought I had another set. I didn't, so I picked up a couple more. Um, these are always good to have when you want to do hot rods. They're a dual carb intake for small block Chevy. Um, oh, excuse me. And I don't remember what kind of carburetors those are. They're in the description on the website at vcgresins.com. And but you can get it comes with the little circular, the little air cleaners. Yeah, it always works. Let's see, what do we got? U-joints. Never hurts to have U-joints. If you're doing any kind of kit bashing, any kind of aftermarket, uh, you wind up needing to have some kind of a U-joint to make your own drive shaft. This is a Nerf bar side step, like for when you have a lifted off-road vehicle, or just a big pickup and you want to have them on there. I did this, used a set of this on the half cab Bronco that comes with the little sand buggy, and you do have to do a little bit of adapting in order to get them to sit just right, but they're not hard and they're easy to put together and they're easy to paint up and they look good. Then I also got some LED lights. I think these are I think he calls them the quad torch, if I remember right. But got a couple of sets of those. They come four to a set, and I picked up a couple of them at $4. And I got some of these. Um, the brake drums. I already have some, but I wanted to get some more while he's got them. Some of these for the Chevy and a set. I got two sets of these. I thought when I first looked at them that it was for both axles for a complete vehicle. They are one axle, and I that was my fault for not paying close attention. But it's one axle. If you want to have a Ford pickup, he has some that are Ford specific. And you got a Ford pickup and you want to put drums on front and back, you need to get two sets. Same thing with these with the Chevy or other assorted GMs or whatever. And he's also got the finned, kind of like he had with some of the Buicks back in the day. He also has Buick finned brake drums, and that are not this fancy. If you want to go that route. So anyway, well, that's my haul this week. I still have an order coming in from Hobby Link, and I'll play with that next week. So uh, anyway, um, that's about what I got. I do have another order from Josh coming in from BCG Resins. He uh, uh, introduced a fan set, engine fans, and it comes with, I think it was five different fans, if I remember right, four or five, and it has some fan clutches in it as well. And he restocked the Ford solenoids, starter solenoids, the ones with the up on the fender. And so you might go check that out. Yeah, why not? And while you're there, be sure to put in code Jester10 promo code to get 10% off your order, and say hey to Josh. So uh, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and cut this short. I've been rambling long enough. I've got stuff I want to take care of. So anyway, talk to you next time. B Tex signing out.